K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't...
Shut up!
Ron is right. We ain't waiting for Joe the Bullet Magnet, baby.
Game on, where progressives fear us and rhinos tremble. Welcome to the political jungle. I'm JD.
This is Stacy. No one is safe. No one is spared.
Lock up the children.
And the old folk.
Welcome to the world of liberservative conservatarians.
Welcome to Ultimate Survival and Figure It Out Radio. Adapt, overcome. Thursday night, January 7th, 2016, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. JD and Stacey here on Game On that K98 Talk. Everyone within the sound of my voice, you know what to do. Get over to K98Talk.org right now. Get in that chat room. Say hello to the drunkest, acid-takingest, nakedest, according to Ron, political audience in the business. Welcome back to all our political freaks, geeks, and back alley sneaks. Game on where there's nowhere to run and hide, baby. Did I at least say it was Thursday?
I think so.
Did I get that right? I had a Tuesday feeling to me, but good Thursday evening, baby.
Oh, no, we can't go back to Tuesday.
Tonight we have on deck Cruise Birtherism, North Korea's very own Elvis goes boom, Bernie Sanders vote is going all, Animal House, and more. Remember, guys, we're not just live Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern here on that K98 Talk. We do it again Sunday morning, 11 o'clock. Shift gears, Bloody Marys and broadsheets, baby. Your cure for that mainstream media hangover. Tuesday, same thing, 9 o'clock. Friday, 5 p.m. WN, JC, 1360 a.m. on that Philadelphia, Southern Jersey, Northern Delaware. And Thursday night, starting tonight, is very special, baby, because everybody know about the Bell River and the JD and Stacey and the 2-hour radio. So now you got Lou at the 8 p.m. with that hammy tonight, baby. You check it out on the Spreaker if you did not hear it. But from now on, Thursday nights, following our show, you don't shut that radio off. You go over to the freezer, you take the heads out, and you welcome Daniel Stafford and the Stafford boys, baby, for Frozen Heads in the radio. And remember, guys, not during the show, after it, you get over to Spreaker.com, hashtag JD and Stacey, JDANDSTACEY. Find out everything we've been doing here with that Ricky Ticky Rick Robbins into that K98 Talk. And something about Michael Loftus. Yeah, we like him. Check him out. What's the website?
Oh, it's theflipsideshow.com.
Oh, reaching into the deep recesses of your mind. Good evening, baby.
Good evening. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And you want to know what? We hit that. We're getting this radio thing down pat, huh, babe? I like that.
I
we
think
had the
so.
little thing and the boom, and then no Joe Bullet Magnet and something about the car guy, and now we're here.
Yay.
One day,
So exciting.
One day, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to tell you the story of how radio and I, of how Stacey and I started our radio journey. Some of that story.
No, we probably should not do that.
Some of that story started getting told today. So,
What? Oh, dear Lord.
Okay, terrific.
Okay, terrific. Yeah.
Is it my fault that the entire world revolves around?
No. Show you the money. Not show you. Show me the money. Show me the money. Yeah. Louder.
Okay, terrific.
No. It's not your fault, but I will say the video and Screen caps from CPAC might be a joy.
So this is going to be the bar tab. So.
Hey, but the unsustainable bar tab party is on.
Oh, I did hear that. You got to turn your mic.
Did you hear that? Thank you, Gene Baradelli. Thank you, Vito and Vito.
You have to stop screaming and turn your mic down a little bit.
No, that is the best party at CPAC.
No, I'm serious. Turn your mic down a little bit. Very high right now. Okay, so we have, like we said, tonight we're going to be talking about who coined North Korean Elvis? Was that Grace?
I'm not sure if that was Grace. I don't remember.
Somebody within the last 24 hours called him the North Korean Elvis. I'm going to win this race.
Well, we do honestly have like the great privilege of being, in some groups with some truly funny and awesome people, and sometimes we do just shamelessly pilfer from them.
Do me a favor. Stop telling the audience that you and I are in groups with a whole bunch of people. Remember the breaking news
political
about
discussion groups. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Turn your mic down a little bit more.
I did.
I know, but you got to do it more. Trust me. I'm not just your co-host. I'm also the producer. So we're going to be talking about North Korean Elvis in the second segment. But. Remember when everybody was all whipped up into a frenzy when we got Obama. How do we got Obama? No, he'll never be elected. Why not? Because. Remember, he was a secret Muslim.
Oh, he was a secret Kenyan.
No, Kenyan Muslim, tomato.
He wasn't really born in Hawaii, they said.
I understand that. So now, from the nether reaches of the completely opposite side of the political spectrum. Oh, no, wait a minute. From the same guy who launched his political career by questioning whether Obama was actually Harvard educated or was out of the movie The Gods Must Be Crazy. Who is now the national who is now the national front runner for the Republican Party for the primary, has decided to bring up, listen, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Trump gets the nomination. He gets elected, and maybe he becomes the next Ronaldus Magnus. But I have got to tell you something. We have gone from the 11th commandment to Donald Trump, God bless him, trying to sow confusion about whether or not Ted Cruz can run for president because he said, well, Trump is not stupid. Trump has yet to utter the words that Ted Cruz is not a, quote, natural-born citizen, but because Ted Cruz' baby mama drama was that Cruz's mother had him when he was up in Canada, Donald Trump has decided to start this.
No, I'm not at all. I just know that it's being questioned all over, and a lot of people are asking me that question, and I know the Washington Post asked me that question today, and all I know is that a lot of people are talking about it. I hope it's not so. I hope it doesn't come about, but people are worried that if he weren't born in this country, which he wasn't, he was born in Canada, and he actually had a Canadian passport along with a U.S. passport until just recently, like within the last couple of years. So I don't know what it all means. I know that other people are talking about it. The problem is that if the Democrats bring a lawsuit, the lawsuit could take years to resolve. And how do you have a candidate where there's something, over the head of the party and that individual? So I hope it wouldn't be the truth. I hope that wouldn't be, what it is. And we'll find out, I guess. Ted will be able to answer the question, hopefully satisfactorily. I hear a couple of states have a problem with it, too.
Now, please, before we bring Stacey back into this, please focus on the fact that he said that Cruz has Canadian passports. He later in the day did an interview with Wolf Blitzer, where Wolf Blitzer said, no, we just spoke to the Cruz campaign. He never had a Canadian passport. Trump, well, he had a Canadian passport. This is Ted Cruz on his bus with Dana Bash about an hour ago. A few hours ago.
Donald Trump is bringing up the fact that you were born in Canada and saying that if you're the Republican nominee, it could be held up in the court for 2 years. You're a constitutional scholar. You've argued before the Supreme Court. Why do you think, on the legal basis, he's wrong?
Oh, look, the legal issue is straightforward. The son of a U.S. citizen born abroad is a natural-born citizen.
But it's never been tested. You know full well because you've done it on other issues.
Listen, the Constitution and laws of the United States are straightforward. The very first Congress defined the child of a U.S. citizen born abroad as a natural-born citizen. And by the way, many of those members of the first Congress were framers at the Constitutional Convention. At the end of the day, this is a non-issue, but, my response, as you and I were talking about just a minute ago, I tweeted a link to a video of Fonzie jumping a shark. I'm not going to engage in this, and the reason is simple. There are far too many serious issues facing this country. Last night, North Korea claims to have tested a hydrogen bomb. What the American people are looking for is who's prepared to be commander-in-chief, who has the seriousness, who has the judgment, who has the knowledge, who has the clarity of vision, who has the strength of resolve.
Just button this up, though.
Yeah, but
just on the issue of the passport.
What passport?
Donald Trump is saying that you had a Canadian passport.
Not true.
False.
Yeah.
Never had a Canadian passport in your entire life.
Of course not. No.
And you're sure you asked your mother, you asked your dad, you never had one.
Yes, I'm sure.
Stacey, is that not the most insulting way to end that?
Absolutely. And if you
CV.
go back earlier in the campaign, Donald Trump dismissed the whole birther argument in reference to Ted Cruz, said it wasn't a problem. Legal scholars had looked at it, and it wasn't going to be an issue. So I personally find it both disingenuous and, well, I can't say the other word because this is going up on NJC, just completely dishonest for him to bring it up now when Cruz is beating him in Iowa.
And that's it's funny that's where and when it came out, but it's earlier in the day when we were speaking pre-show, one of the things there's kind of a bifurcated twofer here of there's kind of a little bit of truth and validity in both of this because the blonde drag queen Ann Coulter has jumped in on this. And has started, and she's become an absolute.
Well, and she has the same problem. She's made public statements in the past. Not a problem, not an issue. Everybody just stop beating Cruz up because he happened to be born in Canada. And then now she's such a rabid Donald Trump fan. She's taking the opposite perspective.
She gets excused for it because she's more of a carnival barker than a policy person. But I want to go back to the part of this. When you hear this discussed, folks, and when you hear people on the left bringing it up, it's a very simple proposition. It basically goes back to the Constitution as an invocation that, quote, natural-born citizen, unquote, incorporates the principle of basically the British Naturalization Act of 1790. Okay, so yes, it's kind of codified and institutionalized in law, but one of the things that you have to realize, Trump and Coulter are muddying the waters, and they're right in the respect that this proposition has never been tested in a court or and especially in this case for somebody running for president, all the way up to the Supreme Court. So you do hear people saying that, oh, well, there's going to be a court, Basically, I think that Andrew C. McCarthy, who was he's one of the best prosecutors this country's seen, especially in the post-9/11 era, he said the answer to the problem is, which really allayed some of my fears about the proposed lawsuits by the left against his ability to run. He says, so what? And this is from National Review. Top government officials get sued all the time. It comes with the territory and has no impact on the performance of their duties. Indeed, dozens of lawsuits have been brought seeking to challenge President Obama's eligibility. They have been litigated for years and have neither distracted him nor created public doubt about his legitimacy. In fact, most of them are preemptorily dismissed. So you're going to hear a lot of politicking around this, but I don't even see from a litigation perspective, unless you had some thumb on the scales, how this even gets heard.
Yeah, I mean, I just think when you take a look at the number of people that would affect, okay, or potentially affect long term, the more globally mobile we are as a society. I mean, I can't tell you, working in corporate America, how many expatriates I had who had children overseas. I mean, those are no longer natural-born citizens.
Wait a minute. You used to have people who played for the New England Patriots who worked for you?
No, expatriates, the people who are U.S. citizens and go to work in, I don't know, Europe or something. And then you come back to the entire argument around birthright citizenship. I don't know how you uphold that practice within the country as a Democrat and say, if you get over the border and squeeze one out, it's a U.S. citizen, but this guy whose mother was a U.S. citizen isn't really a natural-born citizen. I mean, that is just so intellectually schizophrenic and stupid. I don't know how I don't even know how you would put that forth. Not that Democrats are not intellectually, less than honest, but I mean, really.
Because the Constitution, to your average progressive, is a movie prop. That's all it is. It's a tagline. It's something that they know they have to feign support of. So you can't even have that argument with the left anymore or progressives because they are the most least self-aware people on the planet. So they'll stick to a constitutional provision when it works for them. When it doesn't, less than a minute. Take us out.
Well, and here's the other thing, Donnie. You were the one saying, Teddy boy, he could be my VP, and all of your rabid supporters love that idea. Nobody's answered the question, hey, if the birther thing is a problem, could Teddy be your VP? And if not, what are all your rabid Trump Cruise 216 people going to think, you moron?
Well, if you take a look at all the consolidated polls, both national and state, it looks like, barring something unforeseen happening at the next debate, this is actually winnowing down to a three-man race: Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and Marco Rubio. And I will be interested to see how the politics of this play. I'll be interested to see. I sound like a begging Chicago lawyer from Long Island. JD and Stacey coming right back.
One break coming up.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
The feeling most people get when they hear a Barack Obama speech, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I don't have that too often.
Steady.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. Ricky Robinson, host of America Off the Rails, will tackle the important issues facing America today as he tries to keep America from coming off the track. Get ready to hear the truth every Monday through Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, here on K98Talk.com and the Spark Radio Network.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
Are you conservative in a world of liberal?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not alone. Hey, I'm Daniel Stafford, host of the Stafford Voice, and I'd like to invite you to tune in each Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, where I'll break down the events of the week, and together we'll learn about how they affect you. So, sit back and get ready for the good, the bad, and the ugly of talk radio right here on K98 Talk.
From the Vikings of Norway to my home down south to Washington, D.C., I've been around. I've seen it all, and I've come out on top. You better beware, for all you know, the bell tolls for you. Enter the bell tower or watch your step. 8 p.m. Thursdays, K98 Talk.
Welcome back to JD and Stacey. Game on here on K98 Talk. Welcome back to Theater of the Mind. And go over to K98Talk.org right now. Get in that chat room. Say hello. Join the conversation. Welcome back, everybody, to the second part of the show coming into the bottom half of the hour. Remember, tonight, starting 10 p.m. Eastern Time, check out that Daniel Stafford and that Stafford voice. He's got to update his promo and send me a new one because I think the one that we play in this break only has his Monday slot. Daniel, I'm telling you, man, the kid's coming out of the gate. He's going to be doing 3 shows, then 4 shows, and then all of a sudden he'll join the rest of us that do that much radio and be like,
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
And remember, guys, we're not just live Thursday nights. We game on again Tuesday live 9 p.m. here in K98 Talk. Sunday morning 11 a.m. Different kind of show. Bloody Marys and broadsheets. Cure for the mainstream media hangover. Fridays, we on that a.m., baby. 5 p.m. WN, JC 1360. Serving at Philadelphia, Southern Jersey, Northern Delaware. Lou is leading us in. Spreaker, Loftus. Wah, 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 wah. Hello. Or for this, or for this segment, should I drop a hello?
Hello. Okay, we're moving to North Korea now. Can we do this without coming up with a travel slogan for North Korea?
No. My. Why did you say that? Why did you say that?
We had a travel slogan for a horrid, tyrannical regime in the last show that I said stroke.
Yes, in the last show I said the Iranian Board of Tourism, also known as
Durga.
I have given them genius. I have given them genius because everybody's afraid of Iran and the Middle East is on fire and Durga, Muhammad Jihad, and you make it very simple. Come to Iran, where everyone looks Mexican but prays to Allah. And then they can end it with...
You do understand if they hear that, you'd be killed.
We just literally cut.
Like, you just got yourself a freaking fatwa like nobody's business.
Oh, do you know how many fatwas and jihads have been declared on JD? There's been one going on all day by the trailer park denizens. I'm gonna declare a jihad on you. Yeah, but you know that would mean I'd have to get off the couch and then hold on a second. I got this NSA Google machine.
I just pray for more tornadoes. That's
so.
All.
This is one of the few times when it's not the
Durga.
who have caused
it's not.
No, it is the North Korean Elvis back in the news. And, you know, it's funny because for those of you who haven't been keeping track because the rest of the world was on fire and figured, they're still riding bicycles and have the same haircuts. Nothing's going to change, so I'm not going to pay attention to Korea. Well,
that was pretty much Obama's strategy. I think he called it strategic patience.
That was my point. And what you have is you have this part of the world that nobody's been paying attention to for the most part because it was, okay, and are they nuclear? Will they be nuclear? Won't they be nuclear? They rattle sabers and axis to evil and yada, 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 yada. And all of a sudden, there's an explosion in that part of the world. And the poor Japanese, we were just talking about this Tuesday, how they yearn for the days of good old Godzilla. So you have...
Japan's just going, jeez!
You have this explosion that the North Koreans are saying was a successful test of a hydrogen bomb. And here we are less than 48 hours after just doing a show. Although the way the segment went with the Iranian Board of Tourism, I don't know how well the point was sent home, and I know we do want to revisit it. But this is less than 48 hours after the two most powerful entities in the Middle East have decided to get their backs up and have other members of the region get between Saudi Arabia and Iran. And, this comes on the heels of what it seems like only the administration has seen as a successful deal with Iran. And I think that if you look at it from if you look at it from a complete cartoon superheroes perspective, the bad guys know that they have until at least January 17th to wreak havoc around the globe.
Oh, absolutely. I was having a chat with, a political tweet today, and I think this is the most dangerous year of this administration, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything they've done to this point is for lack of a better word, bearing fruit. I heard so many pundits today and so many commentators, with national security, with the military, with this, with that. And depending on whether they were currently employed by the administration or employed by a previous administration, the perspective is somewhat different. But, the major theme that I heard is you cannot negotiate with tyrannical regimes.
No,
you can't negotiate with them. There has to be consequences for bad behavior.
We didn't negotiate, but that's the whole point of this deal and how the world, including Putin now as the hegemon of the region, sees this. There was no negotiation.
None.
When your only question in a negotiation is, can I ask you a question? How far would you like me to drop my pin? Oh, and spread them to, okay. And then get like this.
And I mean,
okay.
The whole thing in North Korea is the outcome of the same type of attitude during the Clinton administration.
And I'm glad you brought that up because there's a fascinating timeline that I want to go through about why Archie, why? About why I think North Korea is making these saber rattlings at this time. But as always, we want to thank that Ricky Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson and that K98 Talk News crew. Man, they got in the time machine the other day and they came back with the Archie Bunker editorial. They are all over the globe for us now. For those of you who were really wondering, you go to the New York Times and they go, oh, they think this happened, and then there was a denunciation and a commission. Folks, we actually have audio of the North Korean leader himself shortly before this explosion.
Our dear leader, Kim Jong-il, says the weapons of mass destruction you requested are ready for you to take.
I am still in the process of recruiting and training new terrorists for the attack. We take weapons later.
He asked what part of the deal you did not understand. He says perhaps his translator did not make it clear to you. He says he should fire his translator?
Do you have any idea how busy I am? I cannot believe that I actually have a Chechen standing here telling me when he's gonna take a delivery. Hello?
Perhaps we can be ready sooner.
Yes, perhaps you can. Now take your weapons of mass destruction and get the out of here.
Did we just break news here on K98 Talk? I haven't heard anybody else.
I'm not sure.
I haven't heard anybody else with that audio.
No. How long do you think it's going to take us to figure out whether they actually did test a hydrogen bomb?
How long is a North Korean name?
I don't know.
No.
But
no. How long?
Hey, the fact that we don't know is such a wild, whopping, huge, awful, disgusting intelligence failure. It's frightening.
Yeah, but it's not the first one. And by the way, that was a declarative statement. How long is a North Korean name? An analysis by the comprehensive.
Wow.
Give her a prize on the 60-second delay joke. This was in The Hill. An analysis by the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization, or if you're John Kerry, the CTBTO. Oh, man, Bachman Turner, overdrive in Connecticut, baby, has found that the explosion has caused the seismic that the explosion that caused the seismic event in North Korea was man-made. The CTBTO has already expressed skepticism over the Rogue Nation's claim that it had tested a hydrogen bomb. This goes back to our responses. But Stacey brought up a fascinating point, and it was about about the behavior of the North Koreans, including back through the Clinton administration. And what you have is, you just have this continued game of the North Koreans saying, I have this or we're going to do that unless you give us X, Y, and Z. And just in the past 10 years alone, excluding October 9th, 2006, Pyongyang announced that it carried out an underground nuclear explosion. May 25th, 2009, barely a month after North Korea walked out of international talks on its nuclear program, it carried out its second underground nuclear test, which was said to be more powerful than the first. And on, November 2010. In 2010, a U.S. atomic scientist was given a tour of North Korea's uranium enrichment plant at Yangdong, about 60 miles north of the capital, where he saw over 1,000 centrifuges. So at some point, they're going to say this, and it's going to be true.
No, I totally agree. I mean, if you look at a lot of the press around it and some of the analysts, and you and I both really like and respect Judith Miller, had her on the show and respect her in terms of foreign policy and intelligence. She was actually over in the DMZ talking to folks on the border, in November. And, her assessment is there's really not a lot you're going to do with this very young, very psychotic, and very just immalleable dictator. I mean, he's 33 years old. For whatever reason, according to the analysts I've read, he believes that being or having nuclear capability will give him more credibility around the world in negotiations and other things. The biggest influence on them, from what I'm seeing, is not the United States. It's actually China. And China would rather have a out-of-control North Korea than no North Korea.
I honestly think that I think that the Chinese do have them on a leash to a certain extent. I do think, though, as this next generation of the family, and I think this is the third in line of this megalomaniacal death cult that has run this country just back into the 9th century, is that the Chinese, I think, for a long time did have a choke chain that they could pull on Pyongyang. I just don't know, as time has gone on and they have become more delusional because of what the world gives them. I mean, this goes back to Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi and the kids, and it really was, you had these thugs that were basically ruling countries of tens of millions of people based on The Sopranos and watching Scarface while doing drugs and drinking and having orgies. And I'm not even making this up. I mean, this is how these countries were run, and you have a same kind of instance here. So my question becomes, one, how much is the choke chain? Because it isn't China's best national interest for North Korea to be a thorn in our side up to a point. China has two big worries about North Korea. If North Korea flushes itself down the toilet any further than it already has, China really, it's not that they don't want to absorb any more refugees that have come streaming over the border in the last decades. I mean, I think by last count, there's like about 250,000 that live in a no man's land. And as much as they want Pyongyang to be a thorn in the side and allow us to expend resources on their saber rattling, I think that if they really thought that this crazy little weeble had nuclear weapons, that China may choke them quicker than anybody else on the world stage. So it goes back to my mind of, now you have the North Koreans, who are not rational, are probably further down the pike on the crazy train than they've ever been, and you have them sitting there looking at the world stage and saying, okay, so Iran completely defied the will and the wishes of the United States and the world community, continued to develop their nuclear program, and then the U.S. unfroze $150 billion in assets of theirs to start and gave away the store. Why wouldn't they do that with us?
Well, I mean, it's just, you have the UN condemning. Big deal. You actually have people currently within the intelligence and military structure saying, well, we have to rely on China to do something. You have intelligence analysts and folks that, are experts in the region saying China isn't going to do a whole lot. They have an interest in keeping North Korea intact. They don't want the U.S. and the South Koreans on their border. So when you take a look at a world where the Russian president is having more and more influence, China is the major influence in the region, and the U.S. has no interest in and has paid zero attention to this ridiculous regime for almost 7 years now?
Oh, you're wronger than that.
Okay. And you have another regime in the Middle East that, like you said, we gave $150 billion to, and a pat on the head and said, oh, we know you're going to be good. We know it. Right.
Oh, and then the big show of shipping the uranium supposedly off to the Russians who die. We are always honest, and there is nothing to worry about with us.
Nothing at all.
For those of you who thought that this little soundbite, this little clip that.
Our dear leader, Kim Jong-il, says the weapons of mass destruction you requested are ready for you to take.
All right, for those of you who think that's so far beyond the pale, and oh wow, blah blah blah. Do you know how the North Korean news anchors started the broadcast after the detonation of what they're saying was a hydrogen bomb? This is to the people of North Korea. This is the pablum that they're being fed in Leni Riefenstahl style. Let's begin the year of 2016 with the thrilling sound of our first hydrogen bomb explosion, so that the whole world will look up to our socialist, nuclear-armed republic newsreader on North Korean TV. Baby, JD and Stacey just got in from the K98 Talk News crew. That News Korea has been smuggled out of North Korea and will now be Bernie Sanders' new campaign manager. We got to pay some bills here on K98. JD and Stacey coming back here on Game On. We're going to top out the show going into the 10 o'clock hour with, oh my God, Bernie Sanders. They're going all CIA style, baby. Coming right back.
Hey everybody, this is Jason, host of According to Me. I'd like to invite you to check out my show. It's a 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes in...
listen, I hate to interrupt, but one thing I can do is read off a script. Just say, let me be clear a lot. It works.
President Obama, I can handle this. It's a radio promo. I'm not green. I've done this before.
Did someone say green?
Now, Al Gore is here. Listen, I'm just trying to record a radio promo. Do you mind?
Now, do you say good things about me on the show?
No, not at all. But if it makes you feel any better, I rip on Republicans just as much.
The AM radio frequencies give off very high levels of radiation.
Look, my show is on the internet, which you invented. Can I just do my promo?
I got a pen. I can veto that, you know.
I know you got a pen. It's not a law. It's a radio promo. Listen, just listen to my show. Barack Obama and Al Gore hate it, so you're going to love it.
Here's an executive order. Don't listen to his show. He doesn't like me. He's racist. And he doesn't recycle either.
That's it. I'm done. It's According to Me, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on K98 Talk.
I'm easy like Sunday morning. Wondering why you're up early with us on a Sunday morning making a cocktail? News lately got you drinking? Hungover
This
from
show
the
good.
mainstream
This
media
show
by
good.
Sunday? We are, and we got you covered.
We sure do. We got your hangover cure for those weekly news blues. So sit back, top off your mimosa, and add some Baileys to that coffee.
Take a match to your copy of the New York Times. Light, funny, and oh yeah, news with booze.
And a lot of laughter.
Welcome to Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. If it's Sunday, it's Bloody Marys and Broadsheets.
We're your cure from your weekly news hangover.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
Welcome back, JD and Stacey. Got your theater of the mind, baby, here on K98 Talk. Game on, coming to the top of the 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Hour. Everybody right now, get over to K98Talk.org. We want to welcome back all our political geeks, freaks, and back alley sneaks. Everybody right now, get over to that chat room, and you stick around because Thursday nights is now 3 hours, baby. You're going to have to buy an extra case of beer, another bottle of booze, whatever you got to do, maybe a little extra bag of whatever you got. Because starting tonight, we are the very privileged to be the lead-in for that Mr. Daniel Stafford and the Stafford Voice. I am realizing I'm going to have to step up my game on Thursday nights here on K98 Talk, baby. That Daniel Stafford, he's in that chat room right now. You check him out under the Stafford Voice. He's making smarter points than I am, and all of a sudden I'm a boob with a soundboard. Remember, guys, after Daniel Stafford, not during it, you get over to Spreaker.com, hashtag JD and Stacey, JDANDSTACEY. Find out a catalog of everything we've been doing with that Ricky Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson here on that K98 Talk. Check us out Fridays, 5 p.m. on that WNJC 1360 AM in that Philadelphia, baby. Touching that southern Jersey and northern Delaware. And for those of you who don't like it, you know what you can touch. Welcome back.
Why, thank you. Yeah, we're going to actually have to start doing show prep again and stuff like that.
Oh, man, the Stafford kid's going to keep us on our toes.
Well, you got NatSec lady leading in, you know, and now we got this smart dude behind us. We're going to have to do something.
You said NatSec.
Oh, my God. That's what she says. I talk to her a lot.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah, but NatSec is kind of like, sounds like nutsack.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all.
Please stop.
Only in your mind.
Please stop telling the audience that our lead-in on Thursdays is the Nutsack Show.
Well, yeah, no. Tammy called us gay mom, so.
What?
He said during our promo, it sounds like you said, welcome to gay mom.
No. This is what I said.
3 simple words. I am gay.
You got it now, Hammy, and the rest of you that can cut that up and live off it? Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, I know I did it. I thought it was funny. Not some of those other radio show hosts that I'll be like,
hey, where are the white women at?
Mm-hmm. Lock up your daughters in D.C.
Wow.
In that greater D.C. area, baby, be careful going over that bridge. Sunday we talk about Chicago. Okay. So Uncle Speedo joined the Navy SEALs. I kid you not. Uncle Speedo.
Boom, boom, boom.
Mr. Vargas, call people like, are you in charge? So Bernie Sanders, man, you know the Feel the Burn crowd, like, you know the patchouli, come on, man, we're gonna Bernie, man, because it's about love, and Bernie's against the machine, man, yeah, and you know, man, you know about the machine. No, what machine? Come on, man, you know the machine. All right, so those Bernie Sanders
bunch of guys smoking pot and clinging to their guns up in Vermont.
Smoking pot? I mean, this is the peyote set. But This is great. This is great. And you have to love the Democratic Party. I mean, God bless their low information, basically helmet wearing, just bouncing into one wall off the other, dribbling on themselves, eating their steak out of a straw crowd. I mean, I just basically described your average Democratic voter, except I didn't say they put the peas in the blender too, all right? But now they've watched too many movies, all right? Because all of the Bernie Sanders voters got high, took acid, and went and saw the Hunger Games. So now listen to this. This is from The Hill. I love The Hill. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump could feel the burn on Thursday night, baby. Trump, who is making an appearance in Vermont, the home state of Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders, could have some empty seats in the House thanks to the senator's supporters. You ready for this, folks? I got a kick out of this. I think that this is some old-fashioned political asshattery that cracked me up. They have taken to Facebook to urge other Sanders backers to sell out Trump's venue in Burlington on Thursday night by reserving tickets and not showing up. No, I have not converted to a racist bigot. One Sanders supporter wrote, I am just assuring that there are going to be 2 empty seats.
They're only going to feel the burn in Vermont, I think was one of the direct quotes. But what I found even more interesting is I'm not sure if the Trump campaign can math.
They can do what now?
I'm not sure they can math. Supposedly they're expecting 20,000 people in a venue that holds 1,400.
20,000. Let me tell you about. You know what's seen 20,000? Two things.
Not allowed to talk about doors. No.
No. Hold on a second.
No.
You know we need a wall. I'll tell you why I thought of the wall. One night I was sitting in the corner and I was sitting in the dark and I was crying and I'm going huge, awesome, rich. Huge, awesome, rich. And all of a sudden, it hit me. I thought about the 20,000 Mexicans that had been through my wife's door. And I said, we need a wall.
Please give yourself an inappropriate bell.
Okay, terrific.
No. Ding, 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 ding. When you go to the camp, you're going to the camp alone.
Oh, good. I'll bring some of his wife's porno movies with me. Oh, God. Oh, speaking of porno movies, you want to? We have the perfect setup for this story. And this is actually a story about a marriage proposal.
Oh, this is pathetic.
I'm from New York, so Walmart is relatively new. JD going to be shopping in some Walmart a lot more, baby, because evidently I've been missing the party. This does not happen in Target or Kohl's, best I have ever seen. And this is from, you know how you know this is going to be a good story? Because this is from thesmokinggun.com. Minutes after proposing to his girlfriend over the loudspeaker at Walmart, I mean, that is some romantic shiz right there. A Michigan man allegedly shoplifted a vibrator. An edible thong. Has anybody ever seen these things in Walmart? A vibrator.
No, it was in Spencer's next door.
Oh. Well, you know I don't read these before I read them.
I know, you don't. You just saw vibrator, edible thongs, and said, yeah, we're going to talk about this.
I'm going to Walmart. All right, so wait a minute. No, it's still. So he proposes to the broad over in Walmart on the loudspeaker. After he had allegedly shoplifted a vibrator, an edible thong, and other sex toys from, you know what's buried in that? You know, they just drop and other sex toys like it's nothing. I want to know. From a nearby
inquiring.
Wait a minute. From a nearby Spencer's gift store's got vibrators and sex toys?
You've never been in a Spencer's?
I don't know, maybe.
They're in the mall. They used to have like those neon crazy. I mean, it was like where you went if you did a lot of psychedelics or pot and wanted crazy things to hang around your place to look at.
So this is where you went to smoke pot and buy sex toys? Is this how you know this?
There was one in every mall growing up.
Okay, terrific.
Anyway.
They had like all the weird party games. And Spencer's has that stuff.
In advance of popping the question, and God knows what else he popped over there, baby. Last Wednesday night.
He didn't pop anything till he got to Spencer's.
This is how you know. This is how you know it's a true story. Because you never, rule number 1763, subchapter 2, part 5, never trust a man with two first names. In advance of popping the question last Wednesday night, William Cornelius, 25, purchased a $29.62 What? Engagement ring.
It was an engagement ring under $30. To me, that is the worst part of this story. Seriously?
But wait a minute. You know what the best part about this story is? So the wedding, the engagement ring was less than $27. The total value of shoplifted sex toys, $80.93.
Well, okay, he'd spent all his money on the ring.
Oh, my God. She leaves this story.
Did you see the pictures of these people?
Of course I did. It was the smoking gun. You know what they looked like?
No, but there was something in the story, too. There was something in the story, too, about potential repercussions for him because he had some felony ethnic something.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told.
That's what I got when I looked at the picture. Okay. So for those of you who are looking for a spot to take the kids on their winter break or on their upcoming Easter break, let Stacy and I suggest the beautiful, breezy, and oh-so-safe city of where all of the jerk-offs that write our laws come from. ABC 7 News in Washington, D.C. ABC News car broken into while crew was attending anti-robbery press conference in D.C. An ABC News car was broken into while the crew was attending a press conference held by the D.C. Mayor, Muriel Bowser, and the police chief. This is great. To discuss a task force created to fight robberies. According to ABC 7 News reporter Stephen Cheetah, thieves tore through the news vehicle Wednesday morning and a culprit smashed a window out of the car. This is while the mayor and the police chief are on the news talking about an anti-robbery task.
100 feet away. They could see them. This story is what we like to call the definition of irony.
Oh my God! You know what? Let's do. You know, we did the Iranian border tourism. Let's do Washington D.C. border tourism. Come to Washington D.C. with your family. And see the Capitol. Greyhound bus driver left a whole bunch of people on the bus, but it was in Denver, so we're going to let Jody and Diane tell that story next week, baby. We want to thank everybody for joining Stacey and I for the fastest hour in conservative radio. Be sure to stay tuned. Stick in for our new follow-up, Daniel Stafford, for that Stafford voice, baby, here in that K98. Baby girl, baby girl, baby girl. You got them keys?
Oh, I got those keys.
I am so ready to get out of here.
I know. I got to make a beer run.
Ooh, it sounds like a party at your place?
Absolutely. I have company.
Tell the nice people where they can find you on the social media.
You can find me on Twitter at ScottsFire. You can find me on Facebook at Stacey Lennox.
And you can find me on the Twitters at GameOnJD, Alleyways, Barstool, Seedy Situations. I told you, no more donkey shows. I'm into midget tossings. And spoken about on the occasional blog. If I live through it, I'll see you next Thursday.
I'm looking for you, you Occupy freaks with your glitter bombs. Bring it on! Bring on the glitter. Everything has changed. Everything has changed in the last few years. Conservatives used to take it, and we're not taking it anymore.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.